Remember those feltboard presentations in Sunday school of Noah and the Ark and all the little animals like going up into the boat and rainbows and smiley faces? That's not this movie. How you doing today? My name is Ryan, and this is Down to Business Reviews. It's been a while since I did a new release review for you, so this weekend I saw Noah, directed by Darren Aronofsky, and starring Russell Crowe, Jennifer Connelly, Anthony Hopkins, Ray Winstone, and Emma Watson. Noah is a very loosely adapted telling of the biblical patriarch who is tasked by God to build an ark that can survive a worldwide flood meant to extinguish mankind from the earth. It was just about 2 years ago that I first heard that Darren Aronofsky, one of my favorite directors, had cast Russell Crowe in the lead role in a movie about Noah, and the idea of that was really exciting. Darren Aronofsky is such a visually stunning and complex filmmaker, and the thought of him tackling a biblical story was really interesting to me. I wasn't really expecting Aronofsky to stick very close to the biblical story, but I also am not sure I was expecting what I saw in the theater this weekend either. I'm not really sure I knew what I was expecting. In his film The Fountain, Aronofsky took certain liberties with some biblical ideas, but it didn't really bother me. In that film, he kind of just took a vague biblical idea, that being the tree of life, and just kind of ran with it. But in Noah, it kind of seems like he heard the story once, liked the basic idea, but thought, you know what this story is missing? Rock monsters and sparkly magic. But in my honest opinion, don't let that deter you from seeing this film. If what you're expecting from this movie is a verse-by-verse retelling of the Genesis account with maybe an embellishment here or there, don't. I mean, less than 1 minute into this film, there are elements brought into the story that are, let's just say it's stretching it. It's a fantasy movie that's sort of inspired by Noah. And if you can accept that fact that it's a creative retelling of the story and just experience it for what it is without any kind of religious expectation, I think you'll actually quite enjoy this film. That said, let's get into the right and wrong of Noah. What did Noah do right? Darren Aronofsky's direction is consistently top-notch. All of his films are complex, thought-provoking, and visually stunning, so there's absolutely no surprises there. Russell Crowe gives his first really great performance of the 2010s. He had kind of a dry spell there for a while, but I think he brought a complexity to the character of Noah that was both very unexpected and believable. All of the acting choices in this film were really well-made choices. Jennifer Connelly does a great job. She has a great monologue near the end of the film. Emma Watson was able to be on screen without me thinking that that was Hermione Granger, so good for her. Anthony Hopkins was great, as always. The man could hardly do anything wrong. And Ray Winstone did a great job kind of portraying the evil wickedness of mankind in the character of Tubal-Cain. The scope of this film is magnificent. There has never been a production of this quality that depicts the story of Noah and the flood with this amount of spectacle. There are also scenes showing like the creation of the earth and the Garden of Eden and Adam and Eve that are just so dazzling and ethereal and dreamlike. It's the way that you picture it in your head finally on film. And the apocalyptic flood is awesome in the truest sense of the word. But what did Noah do wrong? Okay, so here's the part where I talk about all the things that are pissing people off about this movie, particularly the Christian community. But I want to preface this by saying that I am both a Christian and someone who is absolutely in love with film. I knew beforehand that I was going to be going into this movie with an open mind and low expectations. That said, here we go. I understand the taking of artistic license with something like a Bible story. I mean, even in The Passion of the Christ, a movie that was praised by evangelicals, had some embellishments in it that, it was artistic license. But this movie goes beyond artistic license into something else altogether. Many of the big ideas from the account in Genesis survive the adaptation, but there are a few things that aren't just creative differences, they actually go against the biblical narrative. It's not disrespecting the text, it's just kind of disregarding it entirely. And it's hard not to feel rubbed the wrong way about certain things when you know it says something different or antithetical in the text as opposed to what's being portrayed on film. Now, given the accounts in Genesis aren't exactly encyclopedic in their detail about early human history, and there are tons of things that can be left open to interpretation. I mean, giants, leviathans, behemoths, oh my! If you want to freak yourself out, just read some parts of Job and Revelation. But in the movie, there are these fallen angels called the Watchers that are just theologically sloppy. It's not a spoiler because they talk about these characters like in the first minute of the film. But their existence, their rationale for existing is just stretching the text to its absolute breaking point, which is a shame because they're actually really cool. My best advice to you, dear movie lover, is to go into this film with an open mind and an awareness that it is not going to be the story you heard in church. Hopefully this film gets people to actually pick up the good book for themselves and read the story as it is in the text. Genesis 6 through 9, by the way, in case you were curious. Because despite its many theological flaws, there are genuine seeds of truth that survive this fantastical retelling. As a drama and a sweeping epic, this film is incredible, and regardless of your beliefs, it's sure to spark spirited debate. Darren Aronofsky's Noah gets a B+. Guys, that's it for this time. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you liked anything I was rambling on about, please leave a comment down below. Like and subscribe if you really liked it. The question of the review is this: what other story from the Bible would you like to see adapted into a well-made film? I think it would be really interesting to see a version of King David or King Solomon's life. Those are some messy stories. If you didn't know, I do a lot of reviews for SourceFed Nerds Movie Club, which airs every Saturday on their channel. I have tons of videos of past movies that I reviewed. I got a big back catalog now, so go ahead and check those out. Hopefully I'll get some more of those up for you soon. I'm also planning on seeing a few other new releases, so hopefully those will come up for you soon as well. That said, make sure you follow me on Twitter, check out my Facebook page, find me on the Googs+. Thanks again for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.